You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
You are listening live to the Vito and Vito Show. Disrespectful to the executive branch.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
Don't sign the damn deal, and the president won't.
Therefore, I do not believe that the majority can vote a man's life or property or freedom away from him.
And we're live here in the Vito and Vito Show. I'm Vito.
And I'm Vito.
And it is an historic night, Vito.
Yes, it is.
It is historic. Donald Trump wins the presidency, and he wins big. It is finally time to make America great again, and to all of the never-Trumpers, and the Democrats, and the liberals, and the commies, and all those on the left, I hope they revel in the fact that they just lost one of the biggest offices of the world, not to mention the two biggest houses of the world, the Senate and the House of Representatives, all in Republicans' hands for the next year.
That's just salt in
It
the
is
wound.
historic. We got a live studio audience here in the house. We're a bunch of drunk people that just wandered in here. I don't really know.
Well, 2-drink minimum.
2-drink minimum. And before we even get started on this historic victory of Donald Trump, my voice is shot. So, Vito, go ahead and explain to the good people at home what they're listening to.
Well, you're listening to two conservative libertarians out of liberal hellhole, Brooklyn, New York, where we are committed to defending the principles of conservatism and individualism.
Wow.
Yes.
You're a poet, I tell you.
You wrote it.
You have
just reading the teleprompter.
Yeah, there
Listen,
you go.
we had a hectic last couple of nights. No sleep till Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
No sleep till Trump, and Trump won. And we called it on the show. If you want to go back in the tapes a couple of times, we've been saying this a couple of times, especially you, Vito. You decided to break down some numbers, do some math that I'm not really good at. And you decided to predict that Pennsylvania will go to Donald Trump.
And I said that was the state that was going to put him over the top. Sure enough, the 20 electoral votes go to Trump. But the biggest surprise of the night wasn't even Pennsylvania. Well, it was Pennsylvania to make myself feel better. But the biggest surprise of the night was the fact that Wisconsin went for Trump.
Michigan.
And that state, and Michigan, which is still being counted till this day, is still going for Trump.
And he had a big lead in Michigan, I believe.
He did.
That night, yeah. So it's still very close. And, you know, he was down, obviously, they were counting as they're coming in. And we saw Trump down big in Pennsylvania. Yeah. But we watched this closely.
I mean,
slowly
he was down
crept
by,
up, and this was like some race.
Well, the kicker was that he was down by 5 once the votes from Philadelphia were coming in. And we're going to get down into the numbers and why Trump was able to pull out what he did. We're going to talk about the lack of Hillary to come together and bring out the Obama coalition, which so many of the polls thought she was going to do. Sure enough, she wasn't able to. And we're also going to go ahead and break down what Trump's going to do in his first 100 days in office. Plus, we got a guest calling in later on in the program, and we'll save that surprise for you later. Anyway, Vito, it's just it's absolutely historic what we saw, and I gotta say, for a former never-Trumper and you, I was on the train once my boy Ted Cruz dropped out, because I am not a sore loser. But you took a while to come around the bandwagon, and you did, and you did respectfully, and you know what, every vote counts.
That's right, and it is great to see the map that broke down over in New York City, that our neighborhood, Southwest Brooklyn over here, went red. The only really place in New York City, aside from Staten Island a little bit. But it's a couple red spots, and we're part of it. I'm proud of that me and my neighbors voted for Donald J. Trump.
Absolutely. I mean, it was all on Trump's side, the energy and the passion, and
he was winning early. He was never losing electoral votes, even though they gave New York usually first. They give New York to the Democrat immediately, and even with all those electoral votes, Donald Trump was still in the lead, and he never looked back. And I remember sitting there watching and waiting for them to call Pennsylvania or Michigan or anything to give Donald Trump those extra couple of votes. I think it was down 16 electoral votes to win, and Fox News took forever. I mean,
all of them took forever because no one wanted to call it before the other one.
Except for Vito and Vito.
That and the Associated Press.
No, but I called it early. I saw him coming back. He was down 10 points. Yeah. And every couple of minutes, every percentage I was reporting in, Donald Trump would gain a point or so. And eventually he crept up he was winning by a couple hundred votes. Philly and the big cities were already in. And this is only going to help him. Because Hillary only won the big cities. New York is all red except for the city. The same thing with Texas. Hillary wins the big cities. Democrats always do that. And what amazes me is that California obviously went very blue. Yet California is calling to break away from the country. They're going to call it Cal Exit.
Well,
like Brexit.
I would be very happy if California breaks away because that's 55 electoral votes that will not go to the Electoral College, which will help the Democrats. So they do that. They shoot themselves in the foot. They win every single presidential election after that.
I'd rather just turn California red because I like California. There's sunny beaches.
Yeah, whatever. If they go ahead, it's to see from the union. I'll be very happy. Let's bring in the people from the studio audience right now. We got a full house, and most of them are millennials, or I think they are. I don't know. They look young. They shaved. So let's go ahead. Even the girls. They went ahead and they're all legal.
They all voted.
They all voted
for Donnie.
And they're all legal citizens, and that's important. Let's go ahead and bring in the first guest of the evening. Is he going to speak yet? I don't know. Is he there?
What's going on?
There we go.
This is Connor Frontera, the one and only, the contributor on this Vito and Vito show.
All right, well,
how you guys doing
tonight? Welcome, Connor. You voted for Donald Trump? Answered the question.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Enthusiastically voted for Donald Trump?
No, totally. Absolutely. My whole family voted for Donald Trump. Pretty much everybody I know voted for Donald Trump.
That's right. My father was sick in bed. He had the flu or something. He was dying. Chained to the bed. I dragged him out and made him vote. Okay? It's the biggest day of the year. Look at these millennials here in this live studio audience. They all came out and voted for Trump. And you know that if you have millennials voting for Trump in New York, you can imagine what millennials did throughout the country.
Well, that's the kicker. If you look at the polling, the exit polling, you'll notice that millennials turned out. They didn't beat Hillary, but the millennial vote was not on Hillary's side, and that was again one of the biggest points of the Obama coalition was turning out millennials, black voters, Latino voters. Those three groups, for the most part, stood home, and Donald Trump winds up winning, according to the exit polling. Not winning, but doing much better than Mitt Romney in 2012 with blacks and Latinos. So explain to me how this racist, sexist, misogynistic, Islamophobe, I don't know, Antichrist, whatever they want to call him, how does he wind up getting more votes than Mitt Romney with black and Latino voters?
I know it's still early, just after
not to mention the fact that he also won the Hispanic vote in the Nevada primary.
I know, but yes, but do we have the numbers for exactly the geographics and who voted for who exactly? Or is it still we haven't?
Yeah, we haven't.
Can we bring that up right now?
What do you want to, Connor? What do you got?
No, I just want to say, guys, I think it's pretty simple why he got those votes. I mean, look at Obama. He did absolutely zero for the blacks and the Hispanics and the immigrants. He didn't do anything for them. Why should they vote for another Democrat, another liberal? And they're fed up.
Exactly.
That's why he won Michigan. That's why he won Wisconsin, because they're fed up, those people.
Those blue-collar workers, and like Trump said, what do you have to lose? But why I really want to look at is the the black vote. Because they said apparently Trump was polling like 1%.
He got 8% of the black vote, 88% went to Hillary.
Okay. So
you happy there? You happy?
Yeah, because he said he's getting 1%, and 8% actually came out. Look at every poll. Who had Hillary up by 3,000 points or something?
Well, let's keep in mind.
So skewed and biased.
Well, the kicker with the polls were that they were supposed to reflect, again, how you weigh the poll. We talked about this in the last episode. They weigh the polls based on what they think the demographic makeup of the electorate will be. And if you look at the the electorate that the polls had for the Democrats, they had mostly black, Latino, women coming out to vote for Donald Trump. That wasn't the case. That wasn't the case when you look at the numbers here. Donald Trump gets 30% of the Hispanic vote. Hillary gets 65%. She wasn't just supposed to get 65%. If you look at women, which is a big shock here, Donald Trump gets 42%, Hillary 54%. And the kicker out of it all, when everyone keeps talking about the college-educated, here you go. Donald Trump gets 45%, Hillary 49%.
That's close.
So, and Donald Trump was supposed to have this wide margin in college graduates with women voters, and it just didn't seem to materialize. And to me, when you look at these pollings and you see how Donald Trump was able to win this election, it was because of the rise of the white voter. The white, hard-working American put Donald Trump over the map. And for all of the pundits out there who continue to make the claim that the white vote is dead, that there's a new demographic surge in this country, that black and Hispanics will outnumber white people in terms of the polling numbers, that will never be the case because we see it today with the 70% makeup in this country of white people. I just do not see how Hispanics and African Americans are going to override the polls and beat any other Republican.
But that could happen if Republicans. That would happen if Republicans stay home, or these illegal immigrants keep coming over the border and they become legalized citizens and allowed to vote by the Democrats. This is why this is such an important election, because Donald Trump will not allow illegal immigrants to continue to come into this country and become legalized. That's the Democrat strategy to win, and we stopped that. And that can protect us for the next couple of years.
I think Ted Cruz actually has a big part to play in this, and Donald Trump, he should thank him. The Gang of Eight bill was important, but
he's a silent hero.
But you know who else was a big turnout right now in this election? And then, Con, I want to get your take on this. You know what really helped Donald Trump get out of the map? You know, the white working class voter. We get that? But it was also the white evangelical voter. And it was the evangelical voters that got Donald Trump over the map.
Republican base.
So let's talk about the Reagan coalition that Ted Cruz wanted to assemble when he first decided to run for president. Ted Cruz decided to assemble the white evangelical voters, the blue-collar Democrats, the Reagan Democrats. He's looking to assemble conservatives, national security hawks. He's also looking to bring in libertarians. They're a new breed. And if you look at the entirety of the spectrum, it was Ted Cruz who started that movement. And Donald Trump was just able to beat Ted Cruz in getting more evangelicals to vote for him. Now, if you think that Donald Trump is this great evangelical icon, I don't know. I mean, the man owns casinos and strip clubs or whatever. But the fact of the matter being, Donald Trump was able to win evangelicals 2-1 in the primaries, and they lined up in full force to support Donald Trump. They didn't come out for Romney. They didn't come out for McCain, and that's what hurt those two candidates the most. That's really why they lost. A lack of conservatism, a lack of intensity, and mostly low voter turnout on behalf of the Republican base. So that's what we continue to talk about. That is the theory of this show. You're going to win this election. You're going to have to get out there. And you're going to have to turn out voters. And you don't just turn out moderates and independents and some, quasi-Democrats. You're going to have to turn out your base in full force. And Donald Trump was able to do that, and he proves the theory correct again. It is 1980 in 2016.
Now, I just want to ask you a question. You said he had 42% of the women vote. Was that there? Was that what you said?
He had 42% of the women.
42%. So, you're going to tell me that a sexist man, a misogynist, got 42% of the vote. Mm-hmm. Where do they get these? Where do they come up with this stuff?
A question is, where do you poll these people? So they took a look at the polling, and the polling had, if you look how they weighted. When they were weighing the polls, you had a majority of people that were polled were Democrats. For the most part. Again, trying to replicate the Obama coalition. Yeah, the small sample size. And it was a skewed sample size, a sampling error of the highest degree. So you went ahead and you looked at the situation, and you see how Donald Trump was not supposed to turn out the people that he did. Hillary Clinton was supposed to turn out the Obama coalition. She was supposed to turn out 10 times more Democrats than Republicans. ABC Washington Post a couple of weeks ago had Donald Trump down, and they only had him down by 11 points because they oversampled Democrats by 12-1. 12 Democrats to 1 Republican. That is insane and ultimately embarrassing on the part of the pollsters. So Donald Trump and the polls do not match up, which is interesting.
Do you know why they did this? Because they want to show that if Hillary has such a large lead, if this is what the public sees and believes, then they want Trump supporters to not come out and vote.
To get discouraged.
They want them to be discouraged and not come out and vote. Even with the exit polls, everything during the election. They don't want people coming out to vote. And it didn't work. Because they don't believe that.
I can't be so vindictive and say that might be the case. But I don't think that's the case.
Why else would you do that?
I think the case is it was just if we could describe one word to describe this election, if we could use one word to describe this election, it would be pretentious. The pollsters thought that they knew the electorate. They knew what these people were going to vote for. Hillary Clinton knew what America wanted. Hillary Clinton knew what the people really felt about themselves. Hillary Clinton really understood the voter. Hillary Clinton had all this data that she thinks could understand her base. It wasn't the case. They jumped the gun, and ultimately that's what hurt Hillary Clinton's chances of winning the presidency. I think they were pretentious. People didn't think Donald Trump was able to do it. People thought Donald Trump's message wasn't resonating enough. And I think that's what ultimately led to the downfall of the polls, what ultimately led to the downfall of Hillary Clinton, and the uprising of Donald Trump.
Well, I also want to point out that the polls and the media in general, I mean, even look at Megyn Kelly. I was actually speaking with
Vito.
Vito.
So happy, by the way, when she called Pennsylvania.
Because
I wanted her to call.
Megyn Kelly she did a great job the other night. Great job. I really liked the way Fox News handled the election. But they did not want to say things. They didn't want to say Donald Trump is winning because it's all part of the liberal game. Even Fox, bro, they're so against him. They don't even want to say he's going to win.
We want to bring in somebody else, and he is Annie's a college student. Annie, jump on the microphone. Jump. Say it again.
I'm also a woman that voted for Trump. I also think that it was the media. The media has been biased against Donald Trump from day one. And, I mean, there's no way that out of all the polls, the thousands of polls that they've ever conducted, that they would know to conduct more accurate polls than they did. Right. I mean, you don't mess up a sample size so easily. And also, you had what many would call the shy Trump voter.
Right.
In the sense that if you conducted the polling over the phone, people were less likely to admit that they're going to, support Trump in the election than if it was online anonymously. So, the media has always been against Donald Trump. And if you ever saw, how they portrayed his rallies or his, supporters turnout, it was always less than, reality. That's why I think so many people were shocked because they never saw that.
It wasn't only that, too. You look at the shy Trump voter, this theory that's going around. Mm-hmm. And the shy Trump voter, I think, is one of the more powerful theories because we're going back to polling right now. Notice a lot of the polls were conducted through landlines. And again, the polling industry, with the exception probably of Rasmussen and Gallup, still don't understand that a majority of Americans do not have landlines. So you're calling up older people. You're trying to find out if they're college educated. So you're going to find out older college educated women in the country somewhere in San Francisco. Who do you think she's going to vote for? You have some hippie who's way past the prime with her sagging chest, and you're going to ask her if she should turn around and who is she going to vote for. She's got the flower power thing on and everything. So that influences the election. That poll is becoming skewed. It's a sampling error. So you're not there's a lack of cell phone recipients. There's a lack of landlines. There's a lack of diversity. That's what led, I think, to the sampling error and the silent Trump voter never materializing. And, of course, being afraid to speak to pollsters.
All the Trump shined through it. He beat the media. He even said,
"This is a big
guys,
loss for the media.
The media does not like me." Yeah. And the media was covering him saying that they don't like him, and they knew that. And you know what? It was out of spite that he said that, and everyone came through. The shy voter saw through that and said, this media is BS.
And that's the biggest win. I think that's the biggest win. It's just to shut them up and to prove the media wrong. And then you have these Democrats coming out and protesting. I use that with quotation marks. Protesting and the rioting and the violence throughout the major cities.
There's riots in Oakland and there's riots in Chicago.
And Seattle and New York City
and Union Square,
thousands. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And this isn't just Hillary supporters being angry. That's a good amount of it, but it's George Soros paying people. Paying these people, these agitators and these rioters and protesters to go protest in front of Trump Tower. And then we say on Twitter, Twitter is blowing up. You gotta follow us at Vito and Vito Show.
Vito, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If someone gave you $1,500, would you beat somebody up in protest?
I wouldn't beat somebody up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I can see him doing that.
All right, listen, we spoke about this last time. Were you here last week when I said if Madonna gave you a blowjob, would you vote for Trump?
Listen, I considered it. And then I saw it, and then I looked at Madonna, and I said, she's about 60. So
look, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. If Madonna comes forward and says, listen, I'll give you one under the table for a vote for Hillary Clinton.
Well, poor Monica.
Don't fall out.
I don't care whether she has or not. I'm not gonna complain. It's Madonna. That's a story to tell your kids, in the nursery. That's something you want to pass along.
Madonna should have been campaigning in Pennsylvania then.
Yeah, speaking of, you know who was campaigning?
They would have been the line like down the block, bro, around the corner, down the street.
I might have drove down. Listen, if you look at Pennsylvania, we'll keep that up in the air. We'll never know the answer to that. But if you look at who was campaigning in Pennsylvania, you had Jay-Z, Beyonce, Katy Perry, Joe Biden, Bon Jovi, and to me, when people say when I asked the question, Bruce Springsteen, when I asked the question to Democratic pollsters in the industry, and when I asked the question to Democratic supporters and Democratic campaign chairs, I said, explain to me this question. Why is Hillary Clinton campaigning in Pennsylvania? Why is she going to Michigan? Why is she sending surrogates on her behalf to these areas? And people said, oh, it's no big deal. She's just solidifying the vote. She never had the vote to begin with.
So when
she
you look
never
at that,
in Florida? I think it's shocking, huh?
When was the last time she campaigned in Florida?
No, she was in Florida.
No, what state was it?
She lost because she wasn't there in person. She wasn't relating to the people like Trump was. Trump was getting like walkthroughs of like facilities, and Trump was actually there with the people. And she, on the other hand, she's too good for that.
Yeah, they showed a graphic, I think, on Fox or one of these stations the night before the election that Trump visited like 15, 20 states in the last 4 or 5 days, and Hillary's only been to less than half of that.
Wow.
So where's the groundwork? You know why she couldn't do it? No, not just because she's pretentious. Because she's ill.
She's so stupid.
Okay, going back to this, can we just
she's ill, she's going to die.
Yeah, I could agree with that. But,
and why didn't she come out? How disrespectful is it that she didn't even come out for the concession speech? Yeah. At the end, they sent, what's his name?
John Podesta.
Podesta. Say, oh, we're still counting the vote. You're not counting nothing.
John Podesta came out, and for those of you who don't know, who fell asleep, John Podesta came out to the Javits Center in New York City, to where her campaign victory party was supposed to be. Went outside and told the supporters, it's a long night. We got a long night ahead of us. We're still counting votes. Everyone go home, get some rest. And I said to myself, how could you be blatantly disrespectful to the supporters and the volunteers who were out there door knocking for you, out there trying to get you elected? How could you be so evil enough not to get out there and say thank you?
Well, they were crying.
They were crying for the campaigns that we've worked on. Out in the streets, day in and day out, in the rain, in the snow, in the cold, in the heat. We were out there campaigning and door knocking, whether it's for your local candidate or for your Senate, House, or presidential candidate. We were out there. And all those conservatives and libertarians listening, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you want your way. We went out there and mobilized, and those poor people went out there and mobilized, and Hillary Clinton sent her corrupt campaign manager, John Podesta, to the Javits Center to tell everybody to go home. We might win tomorrow. How blatantly disrespectful. I have lost it off of Hillary Clinton if I haven't already.
And we know that Hillary was in trouble, that she was nervous. So we knew we had this election win. Around 8:30, she had scheduled fireworks to go off in New York City on the river. to celebrate, because she was expecting a huge win. Everyone in America loved her, and that's pretentious. And she canceled it. She canceled the fireworks. She didn't head over to the Javits Center because she was losing.
All right, we're going to break here in the Vito and Vito Show. Don't go anywhere. We got guests calling in, and we got more of these millennials who want to tell you what they think about Donald Trump. Don't go anywhere in the Vito and Vito Show. Be right back.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the California Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead. Some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ReadyPA.org. Brought to you by ReadyPA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back here on the Vito and Vito Show. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Donald Trump wins the presidency, Vito. There you go. You hear that? That's the crowd
bigger than the Cubs.
This is so weird. The Cubs win the World Series, and
Trump is the president.
Trump wins the presidency. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. We got Connor and Annie here, and a bunch of other people. Who else is jumping on this radio show? We got any Hillary supporters in the house? We got any Hillary supporters in the house?
Nah, chill.
No? Really? We got a Hillary supporter?
Get him out of here.
We got any dead people? Good point. We got any dead people walking around?
This is what I wonder. I wonder how many illegals and dead people voted.
Good question.
That's a good question.
Let's go to Philadelphia. I'm still shocked that if you look at the polls, Philadelphia in 2012, not one Republican voted for Romney. Well, there was not one vote for Romney in Philadelphia. You mean tell me that's the case? Get out of here.
And we were talking to a couple of people in Manhattan on Tuesday night that they came to the watch party from after voting in Philadelphia, actually, from Pennsylvania, and they voted for Trump, but they were saying how the electronic ballot was automatically changing their vote from Trump to Hillary. And some people kept clicking at Trump and Trump. They kept going to Hillary, and they had big issues. I'm sure they're talking about this on the news. But how ridiculous is that?
That's not an issue.
Well, no, I mean...
That's on purpose, bro. It's on purpose.
Yeah, quotes, issues. They did that, and guess what? Trump still won Pennsylvania. Okay?
Pennsylvania was a state to put him over the top. I said it before, and I will be right again. You look at the T-zone, the famous James Carville T-zone. back in '94 with Bill Clinton. The reason why Bill Clinton's able to win and hold on to Pennsylvania, and even Carville said you better watch out for that Pennsylvania spot. The blue-collar Republican, that Reagan Democrat, if you want to call it the Trump Democrat, I guess. That voting block in the T between Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania is such a powerful voting block. And it is all Republican. If you could find a way to suppress the vote, not suppress in this notion of voter ID is going to lead to anti-black vote. No, not that crap. I'm talking about suppress the vote in the sense where you could turn off the opposition from going out and voting for your candidate, make them less enthusiastic to vote for Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama, whatever. You will win those states. You will win Michigan. You will win Wisconsin. You will win Pennsylvania. They are in play. I don't care what you say. I've been right pretty much so far this election cycle, with the exception of Ted Cruz.
And Trump won Ohio, which is, I think this makes it the 14th election in a row that the winner of Ohio has gone to win the presidency.
Yeah. No. The Republican who won Ohio goes on to win the presidency, because Democrats have lost Ohio and won the presidency.
Within the last couple elections?
Something like that. I got to go back and check
that. Check, but I know it's a streak.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about Trump's first 100 days in office. Actually, no, we're going to hold off on that conversation because we got a good friend of ours calling into the show. Jim Roberts will be calling in.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Roberts is out of the American Veterans Center, and he's hosting the 19th Annual Veterans Conference in D.C. The American Veterans Center hosted its 19th Annual Veterans Conference, headlined by actors Kevin Spacey, who's going to be at the event. Michael Douglas, I'm a huge fan of Michael. And you know he's Jewish?
Huge.
Yeah, seriously, he's Jewish. I had no clue.
Yeah, we know this.
And other celebrities who will honor America's vets. For those of you who don't know, I know election fever is all over the place, but it's a big day tomorrow, Vito. And as you know, we're recording live on Thursday. November 11th is Veterans Day. So it's a very big day.
Veterans Day.
I say veteran.
Veteran.
Whatever. It's Veterans Day, and we have, we have to honor our vets and whatnot, and it's a very important day here in America. So we're going to get him on, Jim Roberts, later on in the program, but we got some time to kill. So
Speaking of veterans, I did a good thing Tuesday night. I walked outside for a cigarette during the viewing party.
You shouldn't smoke, Vito. It's absolutely awful.
Donald Trump said to.
Donald Trump doesn't smoke or drink. Do you know that?
They said never trust a man who doesn't drink. And, well, there you go. But, they say about a man with small hands. Okay, no, but there's a homeless black veteran who lit my cigarette and told me he voted for Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And he was outside trying to listen to the results. So I gave him a cigarette and $5.
You voted for Donald Trump there? Well, get over here. We got like 2 minutes before our guests get in. You seriously voted for Donald Trump? All right. Can we tell you people who you are? Right now they're baffled because I didn't explain anything. Here we go. All right, here we go. Vito,
come on down.
Welcome to the program. This is Tosh. Here's Tosh.
Get around and close to Tosh, the audience, please.
All right, get him some. There you go. Get over here, Tosh. Get into the microphone for us. Go ahead. You voted for Donald Trump? You serious?
I actually fucking really did.
Now, are you a Muslim?
I am.
You're
I'm half Jewish and half Muslim, guys.
All right, okay, but you identify as a Muslim, right?
Sometimes.
Because sometimes Vito identifies as a woman, so it's okay.
So, yeah, fine these days.
And it's okay.
Non-binary, bro. That's the
now
thing,
here
man.
you are.
Like
people wouldn't consider you the Donald Trump supporter. Why'd you vote for Trump?
I don't know. I think he actually has things he can actually do.
This was a game time decision for you, right?
Oh, last minute.
Stop.
Just want to let you know, the more you curse on air, the more work Vito has to do to bleep it out.
That and the fines will amount to a ridiculous level. So let's not do that. Okay. But go ahead. So try to describe
a live show, right?
Try to describe quickly as our guest calls in soon.
I was at the polls with my dad. My dad's a huge Democrat, and he actually voted for Hillary. I was there, I was looking at the thing, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I was like, I want to vote for him.
Do you want to see change or something? Was that it?
Exactly, yeah. I want to see change. I want to see something.
Tosh, can I ask you a question? Did your father know that you voted for Donald Trump?
No.
Look at that. No, the shot of Trump.
Does your father listen to the show?
He did not know.
Does your dad listen to the show?
No, definitely not.
Did your dad vote for Trump?
No, he did not.
Was he a radical leftist? Is he a radical?
Did he like Bernie first?
Is he a communist?
No, he hated Bernie.
I hate Bernie too. I can't stand him.
She likes corruptness over.
Honestly, I think I like Bernie over Hillary.
But I mean, there you go. You're just getting a different taste of all the people who went in there and voted. Some people sat there and said we're going to vote for Donald Trump. They walked into the polling booth, and that's what happened. There were some people who were enthusiastic from the beginning. Some people who were like you, Vito, who came along after their candidate dropped out.
Well, we're a few minutes before he calls in. I want to, because Annie over here is in my class actually over at Brooklyn College, and our professor said that we're racists.
Yes, Vito was too hammered, and he rendered me
Working. I did
helpless.
have interviews that morning.
Sure. Anyways, our professor was on the verge of tears, and she had no sense of professionalism left to her, and she said that any person who voted for Trump was a white racist. She blatantly stated that in the middle of class.
She said anyone who voted for Trump
Is
was
a white
racist.
racist.
What about the black and Hispanic voters? Were they white racists too?
Back to the vision and hearing, because, you know.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to write something about this, because this, not only is it wrong and a lie and disgusting, but I take that as an insult. I'd rather them say I'm ugly or fat or whatever, but racist? You are saying that I hate people based on the color of their skin. Call Trump racist, whatever you want. He's a public figure, he's a president. But me, my professor, I'm paying her to teach me. What's she teaching me? Nothing.
Well, you know why Donald Trump was also able to win? And this is important. When you look at Donald Trump, the reason why he was able to win, you look at the fact that the left, for years, have been saying that there's white privilege and these people in the world are racist white people. That caused people to get pissed and go to the polls and to start a difference. To start something anew. And frankly, the more and more you continue to tell people that they're racist, the more and more you belittle them, the angrier they get, and the bigger the backlash. And when Van Jones on CNN called it white lash, did you hear that?
What did he say?
Van Jones said there is white lash.
White lash, like whiplash?
White lash, because there's so many progressive trends in the country. We lost, or Hillary Clinton and the left lost, because there was white lash. The white vote came out and beat Hillary Clinton.
Right, the white privilege, because we got to the polls first.
If I say black lash, I will be labeled a racist and be belittled. Trump's victory isn't just a win for the country. It's a win for an end to the racial divisions in this country perpetrated by the left.
I have a question, Vito.
You have a lot of questions tonight.
Well, I'm trying to challenge you guys.
Keeps us busy.
Where do people pull us? You know, the left, the liberals. Where do they pull this idea that Donald Trump and we are racist? Where?
Well, go back to what he said. Go back to the beginning of what he said of his campaign. He said, you know,
what? He wants to get rid of illegal people?
Well, they misconstrue the statements and they make it.
Thin air because it benefits them.
Yeah.
Because then they get the minorities to vote for them.
But even before Donald Trump was that, I was being called a racist, white privilege.
What's going on? To have a voting base.
Right. Yeah, sure. Jump in. Get over here, man, pal. There you go. Jump in the microphone, and we got.
Guys, this is Chris Butera right here.
What's up, Chris? Go ahead, Chris. Talk right into the microphone.
Hi. I actually voted third party, which not a lot of people do. Mostly because I was just tired of what I saw on TV, and I was tired of what I saw through social media, and I said, you know what? If everybody is really tired of this two-party system, they really are going to vote three parties. So I did it basically to call everyone else out, and I was hoping that maybe people.
Well, who'd you vote for?
I voted for Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson.
I knew he wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
But if he shattered the 5% expectation, it would have given other people basically the idea that maybe we could do this, because we haven't seen anything like that since Ross Perot.
Well, let's talk about Gary Johnson for a second. Gary Johnson.
He didn't do so bad.
I gotta go back and take a look. I was watching Gary Johnson.
A little over 3%, I think.
Okay, well, let's take a look at.
Which in a couple certain states, he was a little higher, a little lower, you know.
Yep.
But he was definitely there.
In New Mexico.
Well, that's his home state, you know.
Right.
But let's take a look at Gary Johnson. Answer me this. I think the Libertarian Party pissed away such a great opportunity. Because I think a lot of the country was upset with the selection of Trump, a lot of the never-Trumpers. You have a lot of people on the left who were pissed off about Bernie, and I think libertarianism is able to create an inroads here politically this election cycle. They didn't do that. They elected Gary Johnson, who we know personally. We like Gary Johnson. He's a good friend of the show.
Cool dude.
But I just don't think Gary was the right choice to run on the Libertarian president ticket.
I don't think that he was qualified at all, to be honest with you. I think he could do a little bit, but I don't think that he could have really done the full job as a president. Right. I specifically voted just to see if there would. I wanted to basically see if other people had the idea that I had. Basically, I voted a hope. That's what it was.
Hope and change.
I just want to say this. Did you guys know that?
If they really wanted to change, then they would vote for it in the third party.
Hold on, Chris, guys. Harambe got 11,000 votes.
And to those people who were voting for Harambe, a lot of them are young.
Harambe, the dead gorilla, the Cincinnati Zoo.
The same people protesting
got
voted for
11,000
Harambe.
votes.
They also voted A couple thousand voted for Matt Hardy, too.
They voted for Matt Harvey, too?
They voted for Matt Hardy from Pro Wrestling.
Unbelievable. Anyway, we're going to jump to break, get our guest on the phone, and then we're going to continue this conversation about Trump's first 100 days in office. Don't go anywhere here in the Vito and Vito Show. We'll be right back with Jim Roberts.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save.
Your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the California Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ReadyPA.org, brought to you by ReadyPA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Vito and Vito Show. I'm Vito.
Vito.
Yes, that's you. We got a guest calling in, and he's a good friend of the show, Jim Roberts, out of the American Veterans Center here. Talk about Veterans Day and Donald Trump. Welcome, Jim, to the program.
Glad to be here.
Jim, tell us about this event you have coming up on television.
Well, our annual conference occurred last weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we have two television programs that resulted out of that. One is called American Valor, A Salute to Our Heroes. It's a 2-hour special that will be shown this Sunday, the 13th, from 8 to 10 on American Heroes Channel, and then from 11 to 1 on the Reels Channel. And then we have another program called The Wounded Warrior Experience, which will be shown on Fox Business at noon on Sunday the 13th. So you can spend the entire morning and early afternoon if you want watching American Veterans Center. Salutes to our veterans.
There you go. That's something to do this weekend. There you go. Jim, tell us, Donald Trump got elected in a historic presidential victory, and he made veterans a center in his campaign. He said he's going to talk about that in his first 100 days in office. What do you think?
I think Donald Trump does care a lot about veterans. He's made that, as you pointed out, a centerpiece of his campaign. He's talked very effectively about the way our veterans have been mistreated and how he intends to do something about it. My personal opinion is, if you're talking about the Veterans Administration, that is as Hillary Clinton would say, irredeemable. I don't think it can be fixed. I think this is a personal opinion, but I think we need to go to a voucherized system. I think Dr. Ben Carson referred to it as a gold card system, where every vet gets a card and can seek medical care, at the most convenient place for him or her. Right now, a lot of veterans have to travel 100 miles or more to get to the nearest veteran VA facility, for instance, and many times the care is not that good. A lot of great people working at the VA, but it's a huge bureaucracy, and just by definition, I don't think it can ever be reformed the way it needs to be.
Well, I mean, that's the biggest thing that Trump has made here in his campaign is the VA. He's talking
Right.
about veterans, and he's talking about
about replacing Obamacare too, and I think that that all ties in. This is a great opportunity to really start off afresh, both in the civilian health sector and the military health sector, because they are related.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Obamacare has been so detrimental to veterans. And it really pigeonholes them just as much as the VA has. And the VA hospitals are just awful how they treat our veterans, and it's absolutely repulsive. But when you take a look at the gold card idea, when you see that veterans can finally not have to force themselves to go to a VA hospital, they can finally seek private care providers and be taken care of, that is really just, I think, an amazing thing. Because in lieu of let's not forget, in lieu of the VA scandals, how people were waiting on lines on these terrible wait lists, and they're just sitting there waiting to receive care. They weren't able to get it. So Donald Trump does that. I mean, Donald Trump, let's talk about this. Yeah, I want to talk about his foreign policy real quick. Donald Trump talks about how... Go ahead, please.
I was just going to say one final thing is I think we'll find if we move to a system like that, it will be actually cheaper, because the VA is not incentive-based right now. Studies show that doctors working at VA hospitals treat about a third of the number of patients they do in the civilian world, and the quality of care is not as good. So I think everybody would win if we could go into a system like that, but it would be a tremendous uprooting and for a while, but I think that would be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it right there. It's cost effective, and that's what I think Democrats can get behind and Republicans can get behind. And I'm just finally happy that somebody's there championing the cause of veterans, because President Obama hasn't done it. President Obama also wants active service members to repay their bonuses because he doesn't, there's deficits, and some of these ideas are just ridiculously out of the blue. And the more and more we continue to see this, the more and more we can see a candidate fighting on behalf of the veterans and those who support them. That's, I think, one of the best traits in a leader. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. Now, I don't want to go back and talk about an election so it's over, but let's assume for a second that Hillary Clinton was president. What would she have done for veterans? I mean, in contrast to Donald Trump, I just want the people to really understand what they voted for. And you're a guy who's there with veterans every day. I want to see this contrast. I want people to really revel in the fact that they made the right choice in voting for Trump.
Well, we try to stay nonpartisan at the American Veterans Center, because that's really not. We don't see policy and congressional legislation as part of our mandate. Okay. What we do at the ABC is we honor veterans and preserve their stories and pass them on. And so there's a major educational component to it. But speaking again personally, Hillary Clinton would have done pretty much the same thing that Barack Obama has done. They brought Bob Nagle in, retired CEO of Procter & Gamble, and they were going to give him free reign to reform the VA. And they got in, and it turned out that the unions were against it, and his hands were pretty much tied. So, and it's not just the fact that the Democrats have blown it. I mean, we've had problems with the VA ever since I've been in Washington. That's since 1974. It cannot be fixed because it's a massive bureaucracy. It can't be fixed. We can't do the things that need to be done. So whether it's Democrats or Republicans, the whole thing needs to be blown up and replaced.
I am a firm
in my opinion.
Firm believer in that. Absolute firm believer in there.
All right.
Anyway, Jim. So again, I wanna just get people real quick as we wrap up our interview here. Tell us where we can check out the special. Where can we find more about the American Veterans Center, and where can we get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, go to our website, AmericanVeteransCenter.org. That's got it's got a lot of material there on what we're doing. National Memorial Day Parade, which we revived in Washington, our annual conference, our honors banquet, the iHistory contest for high school students, all covered on the website. Many veteran profiles are posted there as well. You can reach us on Twitter and all kinds of social media. This Sunday, the 13th, American Valor, Salute to Our Heroes, will be on the American Heroes channel from 8 to 10 in the morning. Then it'll be on the Reels channel at 11. And then our program, The Wounded Warrior Experience, will be on Fox Business Channel at noon. So plenty to see there. Also, C-SPAN filmed the entire conference this year, so I don't know what time the various panels and so forth will be on, but I'm sure a lot of C-SPAN coverage of our conference will be available, too, in the weeks to come.
All right. Jim Roberts out of the American Veterans Center. Thanks so much, Jim.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. Goodbye.
Thanks, pal. There you go, Vito. Jim Roberts out of the American Veterans Center. So take a step back and just remember Veterans Day, the great men and women who fought for this country.
I love how Veterans Day, right after this election, people will realize that Donald Trump will help the veterans and Hillary Clinton will do nothing.
I think so.
Especially since she's not president. Because Donald Trump will be sworn in. We're going to go, right, V?
Yes, we are.
To the inauguration.
You going? Jump on the microphone. We got somebody who's headed down for the inauguration. Wait for it. There we go.
Yeah. Actually, my dad said, "Do you want to go?" I said, "Absolutely." Vito wants to go too, so I guess you guys are hopping in the car.
All right.
We're taking the trip.
There you go.
It's going to be beautiful.
I hope so. It's going to be huge. All right, forget about it. Moments of the week here at the Vito and Vito Show.
Forget about it?
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Paul, forget about it.
For those of you who don't know, there's a little segment here on the program where we break down some of the craziest moments of the past week. One could be the presidential election. Two could be, I don't know. What could two be, Vito? Go ahead.
I have a few. First of all, I didn't go to class Wednesday because we had a couple interviews, busy night, everything.
Bull, you were so hungover on Wednesday in the morning? Come on, I don't hear that.
But I was still doing interviews and working.
All right, go ahead.
Please. It doesn't stop. My professor, as we said before, called me a racist. Called white people racist for voting for Donald Trump. So I think that is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to do something about that.
All right, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you gotta go to campus reform for this. You can just tune into Vito and Vito and you find all the liberal hypocrisy that goes on in the classroom. It's absolutely ridiculous. Go ahead, what else you got?
The soda tax is making a return to Chicago.
Oh, the soda tax. This is it.
That's right.
Charge you for drinking soda. This is ridiculous.
Not only is the murder rate higher there, but you'll also be taxed more for your sodas.
You just dying left and right in Chicago. Did you know that New York City passed a bag tax, a 5-cent plastic bag tax? Yeah, you want to use a plastic bag in New York City? You got to pay 5 cents for it. You know how people double bag their groceries, right? You got to pay 5 cents a bag, so that's 10 cents on top of the bill that comes out of your groceries for every time you double bag. Isn't that crazy?
You can't double bag.
No, that got
double bag it.
Though.
What?
They shut that one down, didn't they?
No, they brought it back.
No.
They had it originally.
Yeah,
they had it originally months ago. Then they just brought it back. So you want to talk about a nanny state? This is it right here.
This isn't America, dude.
Nope. And again, don't forget, New York is one of the most nanny state-ridden places in the country. You can't, you can't smoke at bars and restaurants. So they don't have the authority. The business owners don't have the authority to set their own rules of their places. You can't. There's a limit on salt. There's no trans fat. It's ridiculous in the city. No styrofoam. I mean, the little things they pick at us with. Yeah, Vito, what else you got? I get worked up here.
Certain colleges, I don't have the name, but certain colleges, Fox and Friends is reporting that they canceled tests and ordered pizza to cope with the sad kids at college campuses to console them.
See, that is embarrassing and disgusting.
Time out. Where is my pizza for
they
the
should
8
be right.
years
They
of
should be,
Obama?
they should be legal adults. So what'd you say?
Where's my pizza for the 8 years of Obama?
We deserve more than pizza.
We deserve more than pizza.
Send me some of that.
I want keys to the Jack Daniels factory. I mean, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, we earned it. We earned that. Alright. Speaking about crybabies, shrinks and therapists in New York City have become booked daily. That there's a sudden increase.
Yeah, there you go.
Because New Yorkers cannot deal with the Trump winning election. So all these shrinks are reporting that they are booked solid with Hillary supporters.
Oh, I love it.
We won so big that we brought them to a shrink.
They're finally admitting and accepting that they're mentally ill after all.
See, liberalism is a mental disorder.
And he's a genius.
So there you go. Liberalism is a mental disorder. Way to go, kid.
Can you believe that?
You got more?
A shrink. Of course I have more.
Oh, there's more. Go ahead.
Ready for this? In Germany, a couple German and UK producers and actors are writing a script to produce a series based on... Do you want to guess who they're writing a new series on?
Donald Trump.
No.
Hillary Clinton.
No.
Obama.
Worse.
Mao?
Karl Marx.
Are they writing a what? What did you say it again?
A series.
And who's doing this?
Germany. Germany's X-Film and France's Haute Court.
Great, two socialist
and the
countries get
UK's
together.
Potboiler to produce an adaptation of Mary Gabriel's book about Karl Marx, Frederick Engels, and their families, called Loving Capital.
Did you know that Frederick Engels and Karl Marx both shared the same mistress? Trust fund babies, and both shared the same mistress. Seriously. Couldn't make that up. They were both doing the same woman behind their wife's back.
Well, you can't get a girl, you gotta share.
That's it. You gotta. They're sharing everything. My God.
There's handsome guys and there's ugly guys, and you just gotta share all the women.
I mean, and you're a female. You look at Karl Marx, you get that big beard and whatnot. But Frederick Engels, you gotta pick one of them.
Who do you pick?
I'm making you pick one of them. I'll even bring up the picture. I'm gonna bring up the picture of Marx and Engels.
Both?
We're doing this right now.
Oh God.
We're doing this right now. There's Marx. There's Engels. Here's a picture of both of them. There's Karl Marx. Frederick Engels. It's a big hairy mess over there. What are you going with? Neither. You gotta pick one of them.
No, you have to pick one.
Yeah, you gotta pick one. Billy's coming to Donald Trump.
You don't get a choice.
You could be blind in one eye only. But you gotta look at the left eye. You still gotta look at one of them.
I'm definitely not Marx.
She's going with Engels. The real mastermind behind communism.
Karl Marx.
He's so good at giving him a heart attack.
Did you know Frederick Engels supported Karl Marx, by the way? He had him get a factory. Frederick Engels. And it was all that money that he had. And he was able to set up Karl Marx to sit right above him and work in his apartment upstairs or at the Communist Manifesto.
Smoke weed, right.
Didn't Ayn Rand share a mistress or like?
Ayn Rand had a consensual affair. I will defend
It's like an open marriage.
How do we go from like one extreme to the other, like Karl Marx to Ayn Rand?
This show is gonna go.
This is the celebratory part. This is an hour into the show. Our drinks are kicking in. Donald Trump is the next president. Okay, they're grabbing him by the beers.
I got nervous for a second.
Oh no, I'm not getting fined for this stuff. We need somebody with the beeper to beep people when they curse and stuff. You're not quick enough, Vito. You can't drink.
How do I know what you're gonna say?
It's Vito. Come on, you don't know what this guy's gonna say.
I give you the warning.
Give you a warning?
Yeah, like I wave my hand or something. I give you a look, like the 7 words you can't say on air.
Let's get into a fight right now. I want to fight you right now. You know why?
A fist fight?
A fist fight. A verbal fist fight.
Can I be the ref?
So,
a special guest referee.
Here we go.
You can't curse.
Let's finally set this to bed. Did Donald Trump make fun of the disabled reporter?
Yes.
No.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
How can he say no? Okay. He went up. He said he did the whole hand motion, making fun of the disabled person. I was talking how stereotypical how people make fun of stereotypes.
Wait, time out. Can you just do it for us real quick?
No, you do a good impersonation of Trump.
Can you do it so we
do
know?
it?
Because Donald Trump was just being a deer caught in headlights. That was it.
No.
Enough of the BS.
Deers do not go, I don't remember. It was 14 years ago.
No. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it right. He was like, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He didn't do anything crazy. Nothing crazy. He just slowed his words.
What are you talking about? No deer in headlights talks like that.
Deers do not talk. Can we get that straight?
Regardless of if you make fun of him or not, the difference, it doesn't really matter. Because if that was a normal person, nobody would be blinking an eye. Wouldn't be treated like a normal person. That happens. People
Well, no. You see somebody in the street doing that, like, wow, they're making fun of a handicapped person.
He was not making fun of a handicapped
He was mocking him. It was so. It's just a coincidence.
Well, guess what? He's the president now. Shut up.
I'm fine with that.
Here's the deal. I'm doing a vote. We're doing a vote right now. Did Donald Trump make fun of a handicapped reporter? Everyone say yes.
Yes.
Did Donald Trump not make fun of a handicapped reporter? Say no.
No.
4-2.
You don't even count, bro.
In Brooklyn.
It's nothing but the truth.